We're going to move on to our next topic, which is that popular one.
Donald Sterling.
Ooh.
Donald Sterling.
He's a stud, isn't he?
Handsome.
Yeah, right.
Handsome.
His billions have nothing to do with it.
Not at all. You couldn't pay me enough.
One of his girlfriends just tweeted out a picture of him in his underwear, so I saw that.
Wait, we can look that up.
There you go.
Thanks, I'll pass.
We're going to come back in just a couple of moments.
We'll leave you with that visual.
Donald Sterling controversy. Let's do a song dedicated to our next segment, the Donald Sterling thing. And we're going to play a song pertaining to that. And we're coming back with the Donald story right here on WEMF Radio.
Yes, Inside Edition.
What
do you think, Buck? Those are briefs.
My eyes.
We face the difficulties of today and tomorrow. I still have a dream.
We are smoking in the girls' room here on WEMF Radio, and we are moving into our next topic, which is the Donald Sterling issue, the controversy this week that was all over the internet. It was all over TV. It was all over everywhere in the media. We were all sitting around a little earlier talking about this, and the energy in the room got crazy. Take it away, smoking in the girls' room, ladies.
Wow.
Well, what did he do wrong? Just kidding.
I just want to stop having to Google all these fools, you know. I'm like, all right, crap, who's Donald Sterling? For crying out loud, here I go. Who is he? And then he's like some jerk. I'm like, great, another jerk on the planet. Awesome.
With too much money.
With way too much money, you know. And he's a racist, horrible human being.
And he has been a racist since 2000. The NBA has known since 2003. He's been cited for discrimination in housing. He had one of the largest fines levied against him by the Department of Justice for discriminating against Koreans. He said, I don't want black people on my properties because they smell bad. So the NBA has known that this man has been a racist. They have not cared. But now he has been set up by this woman. I think he was set up. Well, and all of a sudden they're caring about it because they've been exposed.
I think there are people in the NBA who did care. It's just their commissioner. They have a new commissioner after 30 years with David Stern, who I think is the one who didn't really care.
Yeah.
And then they have a brand new commissioner.
Yeah, Adam Silver.
Yeah, they look the other way. They look the other way.
The issue has come to surface. So it took a long time, but I think it took the new commissioner. Because there are a lot more black coaches, black executives in the NBA
owners.
now. Yeah. Owners.
Well,
I don't know about owners, but yeah.
30 years ago, he was not paying his players, and he wasn't paying for bills that the team incurred, which is reason for the association to force him out. And 30 years ago, he told the association that he was going to sell the team, and then he didn't sell the team. Yeah. And then he also had a $2.76 million settlement. He was accused of systematically excluding blacks and Hispanics from renting property he owned. So he's a bad guy, but there's a big issue right now because the commissioners come down hard on him, but there's the issue of whether the other owners of the team are going to actually be able to force him to sell the team.
Well, if 75% of the owners agree, then they can force him to sell. And it sounds like, I don't know if there's 32 or 30 NBA teams, but let's say 30. So if 75% of the other 29 owners agree, then they can make him sell.
He's not a full owner of the team, though, right? Doesn't he own it with his wife?
Yeah, I believe so. But I think they're in the process of a divorce. So there's that, too.
But the concern, I was reading a lot of articles on it, and the concern is the owners are probably likely to force him to sell the team. But given his background and the fact 30 years ago he said he was going to sell the team, he's probably not going to sell the team. He's probably going to go to court.
He's very litigious, from what I've read.
He was a lawyer.
He is a lawyer.
And what did he do? Personal injury? I think that was where he
probably
made
bad
his fortune.
stuff.
Personal injury, I think, is where he made his fortune. Yeah, he'll probably fight it. I mean, it could take a long time, but he's also 80 years old, and it was just announced that he has prostate cancer, so he may
not make it.
He may not fight it.
You know what's been bothering me about this story is the fact that even though he's married, and even though he's made these racist comments, and even though he's done so many bad things in the past, I'm hearing a lot of backlash against this woman that he was with. And she was using him, but he was using her. But she's getting a lot of the backlash.
Well, it's a very male-dominated industry, and obviously, and she's very young, and I would like to know what her purpose was talking to Barbara Walters.
The girl's working it.
Yeah,
she's working it.
Well, in her, have you seen the shield that she's been wearing?
Yeah, she said she's going to run for president.
We don't know why she's got the shield on.
It stuck out.
It did stick out, and she was saying, well, it was hiding my sadness, but she was everywhere the paparazzi was, so apparently
she's working her 15 minutes of fame.
It was just very interesting, all the things she was saying, and how she's his right hand, arm, leg, whatever she said it was. It's some appendage. But she was the one that took the voice of him, and then I don't know who she gave it to. I'm not sure how the media got a hold of it, but she certainly was the one that recorded him. So I don't understand it. Why did she go on with Barbara Walters and say, oh, he's really not that bad of a guy? And I don't understand the whole dynamic between the two of them.
Maybe he's paid her off.
As a matter of fact, we have a clip, right, from her, a little bit of the conversation she had between, this is V. Stiviano and Barbara Walters. So let's take a listen, see if we can cue that up and get it going. But I'm telling you, the girl's working it.
With Donald Sterling?
I love him.
I'm not sure that's what I asked. Are you in love?
No, I'm not in love.
You love him what? Like a friend? Like
I love him
romance?
I love him like a father figure.
He said you can sleep with them, you can bring them in, you can do whatever you want. He was not just talking about black people, he was talking about anybody you brought?
I think he was generalizing. I think the focus of the subject at that time was just black people. But I think he referred to everyone, not just black people.
Is Donald Sterling a racist?
No. I don't believe it in my heart.
Have you heard him say derogatory things about minorities in general and blacks in particular?
Absolutely.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
That I'm a mistress or a whore.
What do you think, ladies?
Well, she's a mistress. I don't know.
Is she a whore? Oh.
No. I think she is working it. It's an interesting coincidence, but she graduated from the same high school that Sterling graduated from, and Sterling's wife graduated from. There's only a 50-something year difference between their graduation dates, but they all went to Roosevelt High School in Los Angeles, East LA. But I think that she is motivated to have fame and to have money, and he was the way she could get there. And he's motivated to have an attractive young woman on his arm. So they were both using each other. But I think to label her with derogatory terms and to let him off is not fair. He's the one who decided to use her.
I think it's interesting, too, that one of his comments was, he said, I should have just paid her off. So it seems like he might have known ahead of time that this was all going to come to fruition and she was going to tell them, the media what happened, and he maybe decided not to pay her off at the time or didn't think she would do it. It seems almost too calculated in a way.
Well, he had given her a lot of cars, and I believe there was a condo, but it came from money that was... He's still married, so there's a lawsuit that she's probably afraid of, and that's why I think she's kind of
backpedaling.
I love him, and he's not a racist. And, well,
but it's his wife,
right,
Rochelle, that's actually suing, and she wants back the cars, she wants back the Ferraris, 2 Bentleys, a Range Rover, there's a condo, and it's like, now this woman is married to this guy that's obviously been cheating his probably entire marriage, and the wife now sues the girlfriend.
Well,
hello?
I want my stuff back.
Well, the wife is saying that she has a pattern of seducing wealthy older men. That's the basis for her lawsuit, so that she can get her property back, because her dear old husband was seduced by this young woman.
But is it her property if he bought it for the mistress? How is it the wife's property? Because it was the husband and their money?
I think
is that how they would have like a leg to even stand on and call that a case? Like I was trying to read a little bit. You guys are wicked smart. I was trying to follow this story. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because there's all these layers of things that are just like this one, that one, And I don't follow basketball. I'm sorry. So the more intricate details of that business, I don't understand, right? But how would you have a case? That's what I was wondering when it's like he bought the mistress all these things that are, a couple Bentleys. Come on, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But they were gifts to the mistress, right? So how would the wife then be able to make her case that that's her property?
Are they joint assets because they are still married?
I don't know.
And in California, I think they might be considered joint assets. And I think that you hit on their defense, which is they were gifts. He wasn't forced to give them to her. She was not coercing him to give them to her. And that will be the defense. Those will be the two arguments.
Yeah.
Okay, do you got to know what the payback to this is? Did anybody hear this? He was also banned for life.
Yeah.
From the Bunny Ranch.
Yes, I heard that was hysterical.
In Nevada.
Yes.
That's the payback.
Yeah.
That's really going to hurt a guy like him.
The Bunny Ranch. Sorry.
I thought one of the funniest things was what Rush Limbaugh said about this whole situation. He was saying that I guess the thing that set off the rant was there was a picture of her with Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. And so Rush Limbaugh has a new conspiracy theory that Magic Johnson worked with her to set this whole thing up so that he could buy the team at a cheaper price.
Well, that's what he's going with. That's ridiculous. That's been floated
the plot
out there.
grows thicker.
Yes, the Rush Limbaugh conspiracy theory.
Because we really need another one of those.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, come on.
No.
Well, the Clippers are playing tonight. The team that he owns he won't be there. He's banned. He's banned.
Won't be at the Bunny Ranch either.
This is
Where's he going to go?
It's a big game tonight.
He in his underwear watching it at home.
Oh, no. Not that visual again.
Sorry. Just when you cleared it out of your head. Well, it's interesting because I've heard people bring up, well, it goes back what Chris was saying in the first segment about social media. Basically, because of how powerful social media is, this guy was finally forced out of the NBA after 30 years. Probably a lot of people wanting him out of the NBA, all because of social media. And I've heard people bring up, like, what about his free speech? But it's not really a free speech issue to me. The NBA isn't the federal government. He's not being punished by the government. The NBA is the organization that's within their bounds to fire him effectively or ban him.
Force him to sell the team.
Right. It's not what's the word? Inalienable right to own a basketball team. Right. So,
but I think there's some code of conduct or something under their agreement.
Their bylaws.
Their players and owners have to not do certain things and conduct themselves a certain way.
But if he's been this way for so many years, why is it now, right? So if it's the power of social media that's actually getting him, he can't hide anymore from it, right? So he's been recorded, and then the public outcry, right, saying, "Oh my God, you can't say that anymore," which is interesting because as we move into social media, that's something that's striking me is that everyone's recording each other all the time, and you're just like, well, where does free speech?
Right.
How is that line going to keep getting pushed out? You're having a conversation with somebody that you don't know they're recording you, and you say something, you're in a bad mood, or you say something, whatever, and it comes back to bite you in the rear end. Is that cool going forward? That's a separate topic. Maybe we'll do that another week. But how do we navigate this new landscape? Because he said those things not on a basketball court. Right? Okay, and does he have a right then? And this is something that I'm trying to, I've been trying to figure out.
And he wasn't aware he was recorded either.
Well, and
he wasn't aware.
Right, okay, so that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
So he's saying the things, everybody that knows anybody for any length of time knows what they are like and what they believe and how they feel, especially about something like race. You can't hide that. And someone that you said he was, he's 80 years old. That generation has a whole different spin on race than we do nowadays. Yeah. So he, like Paula Deen, probably doesn't even fully understand, right? It says he doesn't really get it.
If you listen to the tape, he clearly doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all. And so I am sort of perplexed. Like, okay, he's a jerk. We get that. But now he has to sell the team because he offended people, right? So that's a whole... And it's like, yeah, well, he shouldn't say that and he shouldn't be that way. No, he shouldn't. And again, I don't know all this stuff. Are you the lawyer?
I'm the lawyer.
I can tell. She's got
the legal pad right there.
I don't know, my eyes are falling out of my cheeks through her pages and notes. This girl's on it, I'm going, damn, I could do a couple jokes or something. But, I couldn't follow. The story's really thick. And to me, there's a lot of emotion because it is race and because it's such a hot thing. And throw another thing in, ever since we have had Barack Obama in office, I really feel like this whole country is really seeing the truth about where we really are at with this race issue, because it's that Clive and Bundy guy, Paula Deen, and it's like we don't know how to navigate it. That's my impression, as this country doesn't know how to navigate these people that are so blatantly racist in high profile positions, and we want to be politically correct. Well, that's really complicated, because where do we do that too? Because like we were talking about, in the sexual harassment in the workplace, that's subjective. Right. Some people aren't offended by some things and some people are totally blown away by that same thing. So it's tricky, right? How do we...
It is tricky. And the owners who have to vote on this, there was another owner of a team, I think it was the Orlando team, and he made some comments, some very offensive comments a few years ago about members of the gay community. So these owners who are voting on Sterling have their own ghosts, own skeletons in the closet. But I did see, one of the things that resonated with me was that a comment that somebody made, freedom of speech does not give Sterling the freedom to use speech to discriminate without consequences. So you sort of get into that balancing act of, yes, he does have freedom of speech, but he's a public figure. He is in an association in the NBA, and he's hurt the NBA quite a bit and has the potential to hurt it even more if he does not give up the team. So the consequence is sell the team.
So the question is what Ellen brought up with social media, right? And that's the thing, is because now the NBA can't hide it anymore. If someone's been a racist for this long and owned the team for decades, everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows where he stands, but now they can't hide it from the public. So that might be the one positive thing about social media. I mean, so where is freedom of speech with that?
It's interesting because it's been public knowledge. I think it was in 2009.
2003, there was the discrimination case.
This discrimination case. I mean, it's public knowledge. It's public court-documented testimonies of racist comments he made that have been known for a long time. My opinion is, I think there have been people who have wanted him out of the NBA for a long time, and the former commissioner didn't do anything about it, and they just got a new commissioner this year, and that was kind of his first big thing. I mean, it seems like a setup in the sense that, okay, here's the new commissioner, let's get Donald Sterling out of here, let's get this lady to record him. And so I don't know if it's, does the ends justify the means? I don't know. I guess that's something to think about.
It's kind of a black eye on the NBA, though. I don't know if they'd want to set him up because it really makes the NBA look bad. Because it brings up all the other skeletons that Cindy was mentioning.
Right. And do we know where she recorded him?
I think they were in their apartment, it sounded like.
So I think from what Destiny was saying, it's very similar. Where's the line? Please know that I don't condone one thing that he said. Ridiculous. However, if you're in your own home, wouldn't you think you could say what you wanted to say without feeling like you're going to be recorded? And then it broadcasts everywhere. And I do not condone 1 ounce of what he said, but I feel like if I were in my own home with somebody that I trusted and loved, or whatever their relationship is, that I would be able to say whatever I wanted to say and not have it be broadcast everywhere. And it seems like he didn't know he was even being recorded. So that part, to me, that's a really fine line of, where's your privacy?
Exactly. And I don't condone anything either. I mean, that's it. It's like, okay, we get it. But what does that mean for all of us? Because if they can do it to him, they can do it to us. Not that I'd be saying anything that, racist or whatever, right? But still.
Well, I think the backlash to the team and to the NBA is what ultimately, if he does not sell the team, then you're going to. Doc Rivers, who is the Celtics coach, is the coach now of the Clippers. Right. I don't think he'll coach next year. I don't think a lot of the fans will go to the game. I don't think a lot of the sponsors will pay for ads. And I think that there's the potential that other teams will boycott playing the Clippers. So,
can they do that?
Well, they were talking about doing it. Actually, the team that's playing tonight, the Warriors, were talking about boycotting the seventh game.
It's getting hectic. Maybe I should start following the NBA. This is getting crazy.
Well, it's just so offensive to so many members of the organization as well as to the public.
Yes, I agree.
This is a good discussion.
There's so many layers.
There truly are, and I almost wish that we could continue this. Technically we could. We do have our next segment to the show, which is reality TV.
And it fits perfectly.
Yes. We'll probably be seeing a reality show with V. Stiviano.
No doubt. She'll be on Celebrity Apprentice soon.
We've got the reality TV thing. Is everybody good on reality TV shows? All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be discussing that in a few moments. Good discussion here today, and of course this will be continued. This is an ongoing saga. We're coming back in just a moment with a segment on reality TV, and right now we're gonna play a song pertaining to that on reality TV. It's by the Disposable Heroes of Hip-Hoperacy. Did I say that right? I butchered them. A song called Television, the Drug of the Nation, here on WEMFradio.com.